Hello and welcome to the showcase video for the actual fastest build in the game, the Time Lord Oracle. In this video, we're going to take you through a little journey on how I achieved these sub 10-second map clears, as well as the sub 5-minute Secumus full clear. We are sitting at exactly 10 casts per second in hideout for blink. And then if we take a little quick trip to just a little map, we're able to show that with some quick little buffs, we are sitting at 11.11 casts per second. That is absolutely ludicrous. And here's how we did it. First, let's go through the gear, and I'll explain why each of these pieces matters. Right now, to go fast, we are going to be utilizing Blink, and Blink has two main aspects. Every odd level increases the distance, or every few odd levels increases the distance, and every even level reduces the cooldown. So we want to maximize the levels on Blink to bring the cooldown as low as possible, so that we can actually take advantage of it. The second thing is that there is an actual cast time to blink. So basically, everything in the build is going to be balancing cast speed as well as levels. And then that gets reflected in the support gems as well, with Aziri's Impatience to lower the cooldown or to increase the cooldown recovery rate, rapid casting for some cast speed, and Uhtred's Augury for levels. And of course, none of this would be possible without Temporalis. We have a 2.37 second Temporalis, and as you saw in the earlier little demo, with our little buffs, our cast time and our cooldown matches. So this 2.37 is extremely important. It was basically the breakpoint that we needed. And let's talk about the wand. We have a Sanctified to +5 dueling wand with cast speed, also sanctified over, with +1 ruin as well. So this gets us 6 levels from the wand. The vertex, we have cooldown recovery socketed in, as well as +4 to all levels, and the spirit does actually matter when we're actually playing the build. Right now, just for cast speed purposes, I am using a solar amulet with cast speed and plus level of all spell skills with hastening barrier anointed, which is more cast speed. We have our focus with cast speed and, you can guess, +2 to level of all spell skills. We are using Siren Scale gloves with increased effective socketed items and chance to gain Arcane Surge when you deal a critical hit. This is where one of the buffs comes into play, as well as the Ruin for increased cast speed. Gets buffed by the Essence of Horror. Of course, we have our rings. We cannot forget about them. We are corrupted with skill speed on a Pearl Ring base with cast speed implicit, with cast speed suffix and skill speed suffix as well. So we have this is almost near perfect of a ring for pure cast speed purposes, with a Calandra's Touch to mirror that ring, and of course we can't forget about the ingenuity to buff both of those ring slots. The boots don't really matter, and we have a Rite of Passage, Spirit of the Cat. You can use a wolf or use a stag, doesn't matter, to get the same skill speed buff. The Laviangas actually does matter, as the constant buff of it will interact with one of the notables we've chosen. And let's get into the tree. We are using the Oracle for two main reasons. First is the inevitable critical hits. This means that every time you attack, you are guaranteed to critical hit the enemy. However, every time the game fails your critical hit, it will re-roll it, but reduce the damage. So this means that, for all intents and purposes, the only thing that really matters is that we are guaranteed critical hits. And this pairs incredibly well with Choir of the Storm, where we trigger Lightning Bolt on critical hit, as well as ignore monster lightning resistance on critical hit. So this is incredibly important when we're actually doing clears and things like that. We're going to be using Choir of the Storm and taking great advantage of Oracle's ascendancy for inevitable critical hits. The second part, and the main reason that I actually switched to Oracle for speedrunning, was this passive. Non-keystone passive skills and medium radius of allocated keystone passive skills can be allocated without being connected to your tree. And what this means is that if you allocate a keystone, in this case, let's say Zealot's Oath, I can take any node in range of Zealot's Oath without pathing to it. So these two small nodes don't care. What this allows us to do is get a bunch of notable passives in range of our time lost. The actual notables doesn't really matter. We are really just here to boost the effect of these time loss and just get as many notables in range of these time loss. And all of them have cast speed. And you can probably imagine what's happening now is that I'm using magic time lost with a adorned. So this 2% per notable now becomes 5% cast speed per notable. We don't actually care about the notables. They don't really matter. It is just pure cast speed. And as we're going through, we're picking up all the main cast speed nodes. We have erraticism, so again, this is not in range of the notable of the time loss, but it is cast speed. We have overzealous on these small nodes with cast speed. So very much everything is just purely dedicated to min-maxing cast speed here. And we run a total of 4 time losts. 3 of them are large time lost, and they cover a very wide range of notables. Of course, we spec down to the bottom where we have acceleration. And if we need the jewel sockets for the Adorn slot, the Megalomaniac, and the Heart of the Will, which is hosting skill speed and cast speed at the same time for a 12% total here, which is better than even running a magic jewel with cast speed and a perfect Adorned. On the Megalomaniac, we have Spiral into Mania and Wellspring. Spiral into Mania is quite far for us and provides us 10% cast speed. As I mentioned before, we have an Anoint for Hastening Barrier, which is another 15% cast speed. And Wellspring, while only saving 3 points, the 2 leading nodes are useless for us anyway. And while during effect of any mana flask, we get 8% increased attack and cast speed. So this is where the Laviangus comes in. This is considered always in effect, and we get the 8% cast speed here. And that's how we min-max and achieve the fastest build in the game, no questions asked. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you on the next one. Cheers.